Thanks for staying with us right here on Sunrise as we continue this morning. Now, the world's largest mining conference was recently held in Cape Town. Now, this year, the Indaba included more interactive presentations, panel discussions, and enhanced networking opportunities designed to support the current challenges. Now, the mining sector had its issues ranging from transformation to wage disputes and questions around safety of mine workers. Joining us to look at the mining Indaba in the sector is the Deputy Minister of Mineral Resources, Godfrey Oliphant. And of course, you can be part of our conversations on our social media platforms as well. We'll take your comments. Good morning to you, DM, and thanks for joining us this morning.
Good morning, and good morning to the viewers of Sunrise.
Now, you just came back from the mining Indaba and the big conversation around issues of transformation and just the policy challenges within that space. How was that handled at this year's Indaba?
Firstly, that was just one matter. That was not even the major matter in the mining Indaba, because as you would recall, the mining Indaba brings together big investors, mine captains, and also other stakeholders and role players in the mining sector, big and small. So they are more of a representative nature in the global space, not only looking at South Africa. So South Africa becomes important because we are a very big mining destination. We've got what it takes to be a mining country. But now obviously issues about us matter internationally, about transformation, about policy and so on. On the policy side, we know that some 2 years ago the President sent back to Parliament the MPRDA that was amended to look into some two matters, one substantive and one procedural. Consultation and others to look into how the law would affect our international standing. That matter has been settled in Parliament, National Assembly, but obviously it takes its own time with the National Council of Provinces. Fortunately, at the mining Indaba, the chairperson of the NCOP was also there, who assured us that they intend to finish the last bits of what is outstanding on the mining, on the MPRDA within March, next month.
But there seems to still be not joke, in terms of like some mining companies, there's some pending lawsuits and things like that. How will that be addressed going forward?
No, it's a matter where the Chamber of Mines has taken government to court on the basis that they don't think that they were adequately consulted, and some issues in terms of the substance of the mining charter. Government has taken a position that says we must defend that position because it's got merit, but it's not entirely correct. So, but I'm also pleased to say that we are talking to the leadership in the mining industry and government to try and see how we can resolve this matter, because it can be resolved out of court. That's what we think. But the courts are next week, so there's 3 days of court starting on Monday. But I think that there is ample time for us to look into these matters and resolve them amicably.
What can we understand, from the quarters who say that, once empowered, always empowered? What does that mean?
I don't want to interpret it for the mining industry, but for government there is no provision like that in law. In other words, when we passed the charter, we said that by 2014 we must have 26% black ownership in the mining industry. Now what the industry is arguing is that some people had that percentage they sold, regrettably or whatever, they sold to white companies. So that's basically where they say we can't re-empower, because once we have done that, we can't be, every time there's a change of phase, re-empower all the time going forward. It's a contested position.
Are we ever going to get to a place where we see, fully owned, competitive black mining companies that can go head to head with the existing ones, or we'll never be able to achieve
No, we
that?
should be able to do that. We've got black companies already that are doing very well in the mining space, but we can still do more. Obviously, this is an industry that has been around for over 150 years. Transformation started about in 2014, so we still have a long way to go. We have set our targets in the mining charter, and the new mining charter is also setting some further targets. So the issue is about transformation. I think we agree, both the mining sector government, the trade unions and communities that there must be transformation in the sector. The issue is the how. I think that is where we bickering about the method to achieve that transformation.
In terms of like changing some of those patterns, are communities empowered enough to see the impact of the land that they own in those communities, and does it trickle down to them? I mean,
in different ways, yes, but it's never enough. If you look into the legacy that mining has left in communities, what we have done is not enough. And that's why even with the law that is the NCOP, the owners of the land, the communities, the traditional leaders and Council of Traditional Leaders has been consulted in these matters also to raise their views. But it's never enough in the sense that the law provides that a mining company must invest in a community, especially where they are in the peri-mining area, and secondly also where they draw their labor from through what they call social labor plans. They also have their own programs about corporate social responsibilities and so on. So in that context, there is a bit of work happening, but that's where we're strengthening as well, because there's precedent that mining companies have also given some shares in the past already to communities, to workers. So we want to strengthen that in the law so that we achieve proper, broad-based black economic empowerment.
Okay, now we recently, there was accident at Sibanye Gold, a Beatrix, where obviously the mine was closed, issues of and safety that we're still seeing challenges around that. I mean, why are we still having such situations in 2018?
It's regrettable actually that after 10 years of doing better than the other years, we're coming to this position where the last year, the fatal accidents in the mines have increased. And we've seen the trend not getting better. Sibanye, fortunately, nobody in that accident. They were all of them were rescued. But we see that there are too many accidents. We've got the Mine Health and Safety Council that meets from time to time, which includes the employers, the government, the trade unions, to look into this matter of safety. They are meeting, they come with strategies, they come with positions, but still we see that there are accidents happening. Accidents happen for three reasons. One is any neglect that is happening or negligence that happens. Or secondly, the mines also do take some shortcuts, especially now that commodity prices are going up. They start to rush for production.
Yeah, the feeling of the union is that there were a lot of shortcuts and safety was not put first, and the lives of the workers is always put in.
That's always the problem. But we also know that in the recent past there have been some seismic activities, tremors and earthquakes that also exacerbated the matter. So we are currently looking into all this through the necessary scientific research that has been done to see how best to deal with that. But what is most important is rockfalls, accidents due to machinery, and others that are really still on the rise.
How is the department making sure that the mining companies are held accountable for such, that, you know, the continuation between what the union are saying, that, you know, from the department there is not enough sort of like power and control to make sure that the mining companies adhere to those and make sure that the workers are actually protected?
Firstly, the responsibility for safety is not only of the department, it's of all of us, including the workers, including the mine owners, and whoever works. And so the law provides that the mine takes responsibility in the first place to ensure that there is safety. Secondly, we've got safety stewards, workers, who must also assist to ensure that it's safe where it works. If it's unsafe, they must report it. And lastly, we've got mining inspectors. We don't have enough. We still have to increase that because our mines have grown. We've got 1,700 mines and quarries, big and small, in the country. So we concede that when it comes to person power, although we have increased, it will never be enough.
So
the
is
law
this
also
enough
provides
from the
that
side of the government, or because the mining companies might have their own inspectors who don't necessarily would expose their own companies?
No, we're talking about here in government,
okay,
that we don't have enough. We still have to increase that. But the law provides that workers may refuse to do any dangerous work. In other words, if they are forced into an unsafe position, they can refuse to do that. Secondly, we are able to stop the mine if we inspect and see that there is any unsafe condition that might threaten life. They call them Section 54. We use it when it's necessary to do so, and I think it does make the necessary impact. Still with that, I don't think we've cut the corner to where we want to get zero harm, zero fatalities in the mining industry.
In terms of investigations for the recent incidents at Sibanye Gold, what are the findings and what action is likely to be taken?
Too early because the investigations are still going on. Preliminary investigations show that there was a power failure, and it looks like Sibanye did not have the necessary backup power generators to be able to deal with that situation. That is preliminary, but we're still waiting for the full report.
Previously, in such situations, what happens?
Situations change from time to time. You see, if a situation like this happened before, then there's a directive that should be there that mining companies must never allow a situation where there is no backup power.
Okay, let's take some comments this morning. And Joel Prince Mashao saying, illegal mining is killing us. The police should arrest all illegal miners, including all police involved. So this in terms of like what are some of the challenges that they think are in the mining industry. Douglas Mosamedi saying, working at a mine, you just thank God for returning home alive. Big bosses care about bottom line, paying mine workers a minimum of 5,000, which is equivalent to security officers in Gauteng. Denise Jafta saying all mines should belong to communities. In 2018, we're still allowing people to steal our natural resources. These companies ignore their social responsibility, like social and labor plan. Hence, we have the Department of Minerals, which sides with the major companies because of officials in the department. Some mines got licenses without having environmental impact assessments. Mining in South Africa still exploit workers' rights. And lastly, we're not sure who to turn to for help. Even these unions are eating with the mines and government, too much corruption. And that was in comment in terms of like, in your opinion, what is the core problem in the mining sector currently at the moment? Your thoughts on some of those comments, Deputy Minister?
They are very general comments, but specifically when it comes to illegal mining, we accept that the level of illegal mining is high.
Why have we seen a rise in that?
Many reasons. One is that most of the people who are in illegal mining are people who worked in the mines before. Unemployed, so they know they are looking for a living. Secondly, also, you do have a criminal element, which is highly syndicated, of people who are funded to do illegal mining, etc. But how have we responded to that? Our view has always been illegal mining is illegal, but we have been trying to say that it's not enough just to take people, arrest them, because they do come back. We try to legalize illegal mining where it is safe to do so. We've done that already. 2 or 3 weeks ago, we were in Kimberley, for instance, where illegal mining was very rife. We engaged the Office of the Premier, the police, the mining company, our Department of Mineral Resources. We came with a solution where they allocated about 400 hectares of land to work there, and the other issues of where they can be accommodated, etc. So when we talk to companies, we get traction in terms of how to resolve the matter. So we're busy legalizing, apportioning section, etc. The difficult one that we had last year was in Limpopo, where police impounded the equipment of illegal miners because they were not just zamazamas, they were actually operations. But after that, we had engagements with them. We showed them how to do things properly. Those who applied were able to help. But we also had a discussion with the mine owners, like Samanco, who were saying we are prepared to allocate land and contract them, etc. The deal breaker became when the illegal or zamazamas were saying, we will not sell the chrome to you. And Samanco was saying it's actually our chrome. We're giving you the right to mine it, but we will buy it from you at market-related prices.